We're speaking with South Bay Congressman Mike Honda. So how is it that we plan to reunite these families, Mike, with the Reuniting Families Act?
First, we're going to shorten the timeline and get rid of the backlog and make sure that we use technology so that if papers are lost, the people don't have to do it over again. Previously, if we lost a paper, the petitioners have to start all over again. That doesn't make any sense. And then we're going to fix it by categories. They have a set amount of folks that can come in with visas for employment purposes or for employment and family-based. A lot of times we don't use up all that, all those numbers, and then we lose it. Well, I think we should just hang on to it and just move it over to the next year, pass it on to the next year. And then we want to be able to have green card holders be able to reunite with their families too. And right now it's very difficult for them to do that. The other thing we want to fix is that if a petitioner is petitioning for a spouse to come over and the petitioner dies, we should still be able to bring that spouse over in spite of the passing of the petitioner. So, and we wanted to make sure that the numbers that we place values on certain kinds of employment, but we don't put enough numbers on families that reunite, because usually immigrant families go into business and family businesses.
Right.
And that's a long-term investment for our country, because they will continuously, turn out revenue for us in terms of taxes and everything else like that, and jobs. So those are the things that I want to see us focus in on, because if we only look at corporate world and their stuff and not really look at the examples and the benefits of families being reunited, then we lose a lot of opportunities. And
could this help? Could this be the impetus to the comprehensive immigration reform, or is this kind of a stepping stone to that?
It'll be a piece of the comprehensive immigration reform. And the unique thing about this is that the petitioners are all documented, or they're green card holders already. But what happens is that in the process of negotiating a bill, that gets bargained away, because people think, well, these people are here already, but they're not thinking about reuniting the families. Right. And we don't want broken families. We're about family values.
Right. Something else we wanted to talk about was the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. What can you tell us about that?
Well, first of all, I want the community to know that they have access to a lot of these benefits. If they've been employed and they got laid off, we're extending the unemployment insurance all the way through 2009 to December 31st. And then also we want to be able to increase the benefits for unemployment so that they'll get about $25 a week more. And that would help in terms of being able to purchase foods and things like that. And we want to make sure that they also know that we're working with families to make sure that if they're involved in small businesses, that now a lot of the small business owners are dipping into their own life savings in order to keep their workers here and keeping the doors open. We just passed a bill that will allow them to secure small business loans at no interest with a maximum of $35,000 and 5 years to pay it back. And because most people are asking for low interest, but small business owners don't want a loan with the interest attached to it, because right now they're dipping into their own savings, and this will be a way of saying to the families, we understand what you're doing, and this is what we're supposed to do as a country to help each other. And this is what government can do for you.
It seems like we've scratched the bottom, that we're starting to claw our ways back up to the top. Do you see it that way? Have you seen the bottom of the recession?
I think that it feels like we've bottomed out, but we have to hold our breath. What's going on here in this area is that our unemployment rate is almost 11%.
Right.
A couple of years ago, it was about 5.7. During before the bubble burst, it was virtually zero.
Right.
So we know what the difference is, and we think that with the kind of infusion that Obama has put in there and our party has done in there. We're trying to listen to people's needs, and hopefully that we're coming to a halt and slowly turn around. We'll find out in a couple of months, but we still have to keep putting the money out that we said we wanted to invest in this economy.
The president kind of relayed it to steering a big cruise ship, that it's not going to turn around that quickly. Has he been steady at the wheel, do you think, of that cruise ship?
Oh, yeah, he's been very steady at the wheel. And, when we talk about the multiple issues that he's faced with and a lot of the problems he's faced with, most of it he's inherited. So, people have to understand that we're all working very hard to correct the mistakes and the impacts of the past and then still move forward with the promise of jobs, a strong economy. But first we have to solve the problem and fix it. But while we're doing it, we're also making sure we're keeping our word. People are being put in places of influence. Sotomayor as the first female Supreme Court nominee. I think she should be Latina. Mm-hmm. She should be. She should experience a good process because she was also appointee of Papa Bush.
And speaking of appointees, we're running out of time here, but we all know that the secretarial appointments, Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Education, they don't serve out, if it's 8 years, they don't serve out the full 8 years. Maybe when the Secretary of Education decides to hang it up, you're next in line?
No. I talked about it and I thought about it, but I think what I want to see happen in education needs to happen outside of the structure and in the community.
Give power back to the school boards.
Give power back to the parents and pay attention to the children. Gotcha. That's where we got to be.
Gotcha. Congressman Mike Honda.
Thank you, Dominic.
Thank you so much. Again, if you want to read more on this legislation, there is his web address, honda.house.gov. South Bay Congressman Mike Honda here on Comunidad Live.